Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious creatures in all of folklore, a leviathan of the deep, a terror from the abyss that for centuries was dismissed as mere sailors' superstition and the product of overactive imaginations. Imagine the scene, a lone ship far from shore, adrift on the vast, indifferent ocean. The sun dips below the horizon, casting the waves in a sinister, inky black. A sudden, violent jolt rocks the vessel. Below the surface, something immense stirs, its shadowy form blotting out the faint starlight filtering through the water. A colossal arm, thick as a tree trunk, adorned with suckers the size of dinner plates, erupts from the depths, coiling around the hull. The creaking of timbers turns to splintering wood as the ship is dragged inexorably downwards, its crew screaming into the indifferent night. This isn't just a horror story. It's the chilling legend of the Kraken. For generations, sailors whispered tales of this monstrous cephalopod, a creature so vast it could be mistaken for an island, so powerful it could shatter the mightiest ships. Artists depicted it with eyes like saucers, tentacles capable of crushing whales, and a hunger that knew no bounds. It was the ultimate embodiment of the ocean's terrifying, unknowable power. But what if I told you that this terrifying beast, this mythical nightmare, wasn't entirely a figment of human imagination? What if the legends, embellished as they surely were, held a grain of truth, a terrifying glimpse into a reality that science would only begrudgingly acknowledge centuries later? For a long time, the Kraken was the poster child for maritime myth, a comforting fantasy to explain the inexplicable perils of the sea. But then, evidence started to surface, pieces of a puzzle that would challenge our understanding of the deep and force us to confront the possibility that some legends are not just stories, but distorted memories of genuine, living monsters. Join us as we plunge into the murky waters of history, folklore, and cutting-edge science to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Kraken. Could this actually be real? Let's find out. The earliest whispers of the Kraken emerge from the icy fjords and treacherous seas of Norway and Greenland. Ancient Norse sagas, passed down through generations, describe a creature of immense proportions, often referred to as a halfgufa or kraken, a name possibly derived from the Old Norse word krake, meaning an unhealthy or twisted animal, or perhaps something that coils. These accounts paint a picture of a beast so large that its back could be mistaken for an island. Fishermen, according to these tales, would mistake the creature for land, cast their nets upon its back, only to be dragged down to the abyss when the island suddenly decided to submerge. The most detailed and influential early descriptions come from the 18th century Danish-Norwegian Bishop Erik Pontoppidan, who, in his 1752 work, The Natural History of Norway, meticulously documented the creature based on numerous testimonies from sailors and fishermen. Pontoppidan described the Kraken as a monster of prodigious size, with a diameter of several miles, able to encompass entire ships with its arms. He even suggested that its feeding habits, which involved releasing vast amounts of waste, were responsible for the rich fishing grounds that followed its movements. He wasn't just recounting folklore. He believed he was describing a real, albeit rarely seen, animal. Before Pontoppidan, the Swedish naturalist Olaus Magnus, in his 1555 Historia de Gentibus Septentrionalibus, a description of the northern peoples, depicted enormous, multi-armed sea monsters attacking ships. While not explicitly named Kraken, these terrifying illustrations clearly laid the groundwork for the later, more specific accounts. Throughout the centuries, numerous maritime incidents were attributed to the Kraken or similar sea monsters. Ships were said to vanish without a trace, or be found mysteriously crushed and broken. Eyewitness accounts, often from traumatized sailors, described colossal tentacles, eyes glowing in the dark, and an oppressive smell of decay emanating from the water. These stories were often met with ridicule from the scientific establishment of the time, dismissed as the ravings of superstitious seafarers or the exaggerations of those who had spent too long at sea. Yet the persistence and consistency of these tales across different cultures and eras begged the question: could so many people be so utterly wrong about something they claimed to have witnessed? The ocean, after all, was still largely an unexplored frontier, a vast, dark realm where anything seemed possible. The historical record, filled with these persistent accounts, kept the legend alive, a dark shadow lurking beneath the waves of human consciousness. For centuries, the idea of a colossal octopus or squid capable of sinking ships remained firmly in the realm of myth. Scientists dismissed the kraken as a fabrication, a monster born of fear and poor visibility. But as the 19th century dawned, whispers of something real began to emerge from the deep. The first truly compelling evidence came not from a direct sighting, but from a beach in Denmark in 1847, where a gigantic, headless carcass was washed ashore. It was undeniably a cephalopod, but its size dwarfed any known species. This was followed by more discoveries, partial remains, fragments of tentacles, and most significantly, the infamous St. Paul's tentacle. In 1861, the French aviso Electon encountered a monstrous squid near the Canary Islands. The crew attempted to capture it, even firing cannons, but it eventually escaped, leaving behind a severed tentacle measuring over 6 meters, 20 feet long. This was a turning point. Here was tangible, physical proof that creatures of incredible size lived in the ocean depths. The scientific community was forced to concede. The creature, soon named Architeuthis dux, or the giant squid, was finally acknowledged as a real animal. It was a marvel, reaching lengths of up to 13 meters, 43 feet. For females, with eyes the size of dinner plates and the largest invertebrate eyes on Earth. It lurked in the abyssal zone, rarely venturing to the surface, which explained its elusive nature. But the story doesn't end there. In 1925, another monstrous cephalopod was found in the stomach of a sperm whale off the coast of New Zealand. This creature, later identified as Mythical hamiltoni, the colossal squid, would prove to be even larger and more formidable than the giant squid, with a mantle that's wider and heavier, and unique swiveling hooks on its tentacles instead of suckers. Estimates suggest the colossal squid can reach lengths of 14 meters, 46 feet, and weigh over 750 kg, 1,650 pounds. Scientists believe that some beaked whales bear scars that suggest encounters with cephalopods significantly larger than even the known giant or colossal squid, fueling speculation that even more enormous species may exist, still hidden in the deepest trenches. The biological possibility is there. The vast, unexplored ocean depths could easily conceal creatures of truly staggering proportions, evolving in an environment where size is an advantage. Despite the scientific confirmation of the giant and colossal squid, the hunt for truly kraken-sized creatures continues. Modern technology has allowed us to peer into the ocean's darkest corners like never before. In 2004, Japanese scientists achieved the first-ever live footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat, a stunning confirmation of its existence and behavior. Later, in 2012, a team led by Dr. Edith Witter captured the first high-quality video of a giant squid, a spectacular, once-in-a-lifetime glimpse of the animal in the wild. While these encounters reveal a magnificent, powerful creature, they don't quite match the destructive, ship-sinking monster of legend. The squids seen thus far, while immense, are not kilometers wide. However, modern sightings and evidence still offer tantalizing glimpses of what could be. Unconfirmed reports persist of cephalopods far exceeding the size of known giant or colossal squids. Fishermen and deep-sea submersible operators occasionally report fleeting encounters with shadowy forms of impossible scale. Whale researchers often document enormous sucker marks on sperm whales that cannot be attributed to known squid species, suggesting battles with something truly colossal. There have also been instances of large, unidentified blobs washing ashore, which, while often decomposing whale blubber, occasionally spark renewed speculation about unknown deep-sea giants. While no modern ship has been verifiably dragged down by a kraken, the sheer power and potential for entanglement from a desperate, confused, or territorial giant squid of an unknown, larger species could certainly cause significant damage to smaller vessels. Scientists use deep-sea cameras and ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, equipped with bait to lure and film these elusive creatures, and every year brings new discoveries in the deep. The ocean is still largely unexplored, with an estimated 80% of it still unknown to us. The possibility that even larger, more elusive species of cephalopods lurk in the unexplored trenches remains a compelling one, pushing the boundaries of what we consider myth. So, after centuries of myth, folklore, ridicule, and finally scientific acceptance, what is the verdict on the kraken? Was it real, an extinct leviathan, or pure myth? The answer, like the ocean itself, is complex and multi-layered. The kraken, as depicted in the most sensational legends, a deliberate, malevolent island-sized beast designed to sink ships for sport, is undoubtedly a myth. It's an amalgamation of human fear, the unknown perils of the sea, and exaggerated accounts. No single animal, as far as we know, has ever possessed such a destructive intent or impossible scale. However, the creature that inspired the legend of the kraken, that creature is undeniably, absolutely real. The giant squid, Architeuthis dux, and the colossal squid, Mesinichoteuthis hamiltoni, are living proof that the ocean harbors cephalopods of truly monstrous proportions. These animals, once confined to the realm of fiction, are now recognized members of our planet's diverse fauna. Their rarity, their deep-sea habitat, and their immense size were more than enough to spark the terrifying tales that eventually coalesced into the kraken legend. The historical accounts, dismissed for so long, suddenly gain a chilling validity when viewed through the lens of modern science. Sailors did see something colossal. They did encounter creatures that dwarfed anything they knew. They simply didn't have the scientific framework to understand what they were witnessing. The lingering question, though, is whether even larger species exist, still undiscovered. The deep sea holds countless secrets, and the continuous discovery of new, sometimes enormous, species suggests that we may still have much to learn about the true giants of the abyss. So, while the kraken as a singular, malicious entity remains a myth, the idea of immense, powerful, and mysterious creatures lurking in the ocean's depths is very much a reality. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes our greatest fears, our wildest stories, are merely distorted reflections of a natural world far stranger and more incredible than we can often imagine. What do you think, myth or reality? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.